Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome dear learners, I am Dr. Manisha Goswami, working as an assistant professor at Institute of Business Management, GLA University, Mathura. Today we are going to start with our 9th lecture of Corporate Strategic Management on Global Strategies. Before we begin with our today's lecture, let's have a quick recap of what we had done in our previous lectures. In our previous lecture, we had discussed that how important is to frame the correct strategy by being ethically correct. And for framing the correct strategy, which needs to be ethically correct, you need to have an idea about the environment, where you need to assess the internal environment as well as the external environment. The outcome of these two environments will give you the understanding of the strength, weakness, opportunities and threats of the organization. Various opportunities which are coming from the side of the macro environment and the micro environment also pose certain threats towards the organization. So you need to be well versed with the pestle analysis as well as the 5 forces Potter's model analysis in order to keep on having a great idea about the opportunities and the threats which are prevailing in the market, and always try to blend these opportunities and threats with the strength and weakness of your organization. Further in our lecture, we got to know that after understanding the environment and after getting the list of all the strength, weakness, opportunities, threats and the right permutation combination, you'll start formulation of your strategies. And the first level of the strategy is the corporate strategy, where the top managements are going to look into the environmental factors in order to frame the correct strategy for the organization. And when corporate strategies are in place, the people are focusing mainly on giving the correct direction to the organization, and under the direction, the focus is on understanding whether the environment is favorable towards them or a lot of fluctuations are there, or it is unfavorable. If the environment is favorable to them, they will be giving the line of direction of the growth, where they can take the type of direction of the growth could be concentration or it can be diversification. Depending upon the kind of product line they want to really exceed, or they are finding the opportunity, they can go for concentration or they can go for diversification. Diversification again could be of two types, like concentric diversification or a conglomerate diversification. If a lot of opportunities are coming up and company really want to create a new backup and they want to enter into the new sector, they will go for the conglomerate direction. If they are finding the opportunities are there within the same line of the product, then they may go for the concentric diversification. If they are finding the current product which they are producing and offering in the market, it's quite good, why not to expand the same product across the country by having different chains, then it is going to come under the concentration. This is going to only happen when the market conditions are favorable towards the company. But if in case market conditions are unfavorable, then they may go for the retrenchment strategies. Retrenchment strategies like turnaround strategy, bankruptcy, liquidation, divestment, disinvestment, captive company strategies. Any of these strategy a company may adopt when the conditions are not favorable to them, and when things are fluctuating, they are not clear how exactly the market will be moving, they could not predict the market well, then in that case they will be going for the stability strategy. Say for example, no change mechanism, profit making strategy. Or if the existing strategy you cannot rely solely on, then you may go for pause and proceed with caution or hit and trial strategy. So these are the different key area of concern of the corporate strategy. After knowing the environment, top management people will be framing the corporate strategy under the strategic formulation, and they have to see that whether these directions are aligned with the vision, mission, objective of the organization or not. In the same line, we move forward from the corporate strategy. Once the corporate strategies are formulated, the next level of strategy is the business strategy, where the middle level managers are going to formulate the business strategy in order to see how they are going to place the entire organization strategy in the competitive world. They will also try to position their positioning of the strategy in the market. They'll see and foresee that whether this kind of a strategy is really going to pave the way or not, will help us to attain the vision, mission direction of the organization or not. And the main focus of the business strategy formulators is to see whether to go for cost leadership or to go for differentiation or focus in cost or differentiation. So depending upon the line of direction coming from the side of the corporate people or the top management people while framing the corporate strategy, they will be taking a call whether to go for cost leadership, differentiation or focus. This is what we had discussed in our previous lecture in much detail. Once the corporate strategies are formulated, the next level is the business strategy, and after the business strategy, the third level and the final level of the strategy is the functional level strategy, where the real execution take place. And in most of the cases, what has been observed, that people are putting their hard efforts to come up with the best strategy, but at the real execution time, they failed. The functional level people don't able to understand the nitty-gritties of the strategy, and they fail to really put them into practice because there may be a lot of ambiguity and the role and responsibilities might not be clear to the functional level people. So a lot of responsibility now lies on the functional level people, because their job is to really put the things into the practice. So functional level people, all the different departments have to come in the same line. They have to coordinate, they have to gel well with each other, they have to communicate with each other in order to bring all these practices which they really want to see to happen in the organization in real in the function. They have to really bring them into function. They have to really brought them into the real action when it comes to the functional level strategy. And under the functional level strategy, we have seen that people are trying to see the different organizations, that whether the departments like marketing department, finance department, HR department, procurement, logistic, and all these departments are coordinating and gelling well with each other. Middle level manager ensures that each and every department should have the clear list of roles and responsibilities so that ambiguity may not lie, and they will also be able to execute what is expected from them to be performed. Then in the next lecture, we try to understand that how the different selection of the choices of the strategy will be taking place. So while planning a particular strategy over the next, there are a lot of things to be taken care of, like feasibility, suitability, acceptability criteria. And at the same point of time, you should develop certain scenarios, keeping the worst scenario in mind, keeping the most likely scenario in mind, and keeping the scenario which could be very unpredictable. You're not 100% sure. So all these scenario planning should be done in advance. And apart from that, you have to see whether the particular strategy which you are selecting is feasible to your organization, acceptable to your organization, or suitable to your organization. If it is not feasible, suitable, acceptable, no matter how best the strategy is, it's going to be of no use for your organization because it is not aligned with your organization structure and the culture. So with these words, I'm sure people, you could quickly recap that what we had done in our previous 8 lectures. Now we are heading towards our 9th lecture. And in this lecture, the basic learning objective is to make you understand the different modes of entering in the foreign market and the strategic implication. And the second, we will be focusing upon how global business coordinate its operation, resource, decision making across the different borders. Third, I will also try to make you understand that how you are going to identify and differentiate the key phase of business expansion from domestic to transnational level. We will also try to make you understand that examine in global, how you're going to examine the global staffing strategies, workforce management, including expatriate, host country national, and the third country national style of staffing. And finally, by the end of this lecture, you will also be in a position to evaluate international business success using key performance indicator, financial metrics, and sustainability measures. So these are going to be the 5 essential learning outcomes or the objectives of this lecture. So now let's start with the meaning of global strategy. The concept of global strategic management emerges from the combination of both the globalization and the strategic management. And why there is a need to expand your business or to start strategizing your course of business, keeping the global market in perspective, because now since the year 1991, we all have accepted the LPG policy, the economic reform. And since then, what we are doing, we are trying to integrate our nation economy with the world economy. Because of this advent globalization, where the integration of economy is taking place, you cannot keep yourself in isolation. We are no more living in a closed economy. We are living in an open economy where a lot of companies are floating towards India, and Indian companies are floating outside. FDI, FPI is taking place at a large scale, and the government is also facilitating the foreign investors to invest in India. And in this era, if we try to keep ourselves isolated, do you really think that you will be able to grow? The answer is no. So you have to upgrade yourself. You have to see that what is happening outside the world, and keeping the purview of the foreign market. If you try to strategize your course of action, if you try to explore the different opportunities which are prevailing in the foreign market, there will be a larger scope of growth in the foreign market. So keeping that into mind, the global strategies become utmost important for you to adhere to and for you to really put into the practice. The business landscape changed drastically due to the rise of globalization. The talent equation shifted, the business operating model changed, and organization started realizing what a truly boundaryless word could mean. That means the people are really finding that when there is no boundary among the nation, then it is going to be the real game changer for a lot of companies, because they can now easily move from one country to another. If I am not able to find certain resource in my country, then I can easily move to the other country, or I can have a strategic alliance with a foreign country. Say for example, if you are a manufacturer of a steel, and the quality of the coal which you need to do the production of a steel, we are not having that quality in the coal which we are producing. Though we are second largest producer of a coal, but despite of that, the quality of a coal which we are producing is having a lot of graphite and carbon in it, and a lot of impurities is there. So such quality of the coal we cannot use for the production of a steel. But as because of this globalization, now it become easier for me to look for some other country, those who are rich in such kind of a quality of a coal which can help me to do the production of a steel. So I can connect with some Australian companies or the people who are offering the quality coal for us for the production of a steel. If it could not be possible if I would have been following a closed economy, because I will not be allowed to look outside my country. But as we are having an open economy, we can look into other countries also. If I am not having certain resource, the other country is having resource, then I can get into some strategic alliance, I can get into some joint venture, I can get into some merger, I can get into some contract manufacturing process, which is going to really help me to leverage my production process. Now let's try to understand the exact meaning of the global strategy. Global strategy is a strategy that company develops to expand into the global market. The purpose of developing a global strategy is to increase the sale across the world. The term global strategy include standardization and international and multinational stages. To create a successful global strategy, manager must understand the nature of a global industry and dynamics of the global competition. So without understanding the nature of a global market and the customer, the taste and preference, the government rules and regulation, the industry norms and condition, you cannot enter into the global market. Neither you can get into any sort of the deal with them. So first you have to have a fair understanding about the global market perspective, the norms, the culture, the traditions which are prevailing over there. Then only you can take a call and you can really frame a strategy which is going to be a global strategy. Now let's try to understand the importance of the global strategy. So why it is important to expand into the global strategy? Because it is going to help you to expand your business. Your own country may land up into certain saturation after a point of time. If your product has reached to the saturation stage in your own country, then you can look for finding some other country where this product is going to be an absolute new. This is what the developed nations are doing with our developing countries. Most of the developed technologies are obsolete in their own country. Now once they get obsolete in their own country, they start selling it to the developing nations because it is a new technology for them. They haven't experienced those technology in their country. So expanding of the market reach. So this is how you try to expand your business. This is how you try to expand your reach to different nations. And with the same product, you can increase its decline, right? You can increase or you can postpone the stage of the decline of your product, because the moment it reaches to the saturation stage in your own country, or it is about to reach to the decline stage, before it declines in your own country, you start thinking of finding some other country where this particular is going to be absolutely new for them, and you try to sell such products to those people. And that's how you postpone the decline stage of your product. Next is the competitive advantage. You will be gaining a competitive advantage because you will be dealing in the global market. You will be dealing with different mindset, different customers. So you will be having an access to different raw material or the resources which your competitor may not be having. So you can make a multiple use of the availability of the resources with you. It is going to be riskier also. It is not going to be a easy cakewalk. It is going to be a riskier job, but if you're able to manage, or if you're able to do the complete scenario planning and you have assessed your feasibility, suitability, acceptability criteria, then I'm sure you will be able to gain the competitive advantage, not merely just by seeing that your competitors are moving to foreign country and you also take a call of moving into a foreign country. Then this is going to be very devastating. You have to really do your feasibility, suitability and acceptability assessment. Then next comes the risk diversification. So if there is a possibility your country economy may not be flourishing the way the other country economy are flourishing. So if you have diversified into some other country, you have moved on to some other country, if in case something happened wrong to your own country economy, but the other country economy is flourishing and growing, then in that case you can really postpone the possibilities of getting into the bankruptcy, right? Because most of the country, like the emerging economies like India, most of the people are interested in investing in India. Why? Because it is an emerging and it's growing economy, and the possibility of the growth in India economy is very high. So most of the foreigners are inclined towards the Indian market, and that's how they are trying to overcome their risk possibility of being stagnant in their own country, because their country is developed country and more or less they have reached to the stagnation stage, and now they are looking for some emerging economy where there is a real kick is. Then the fourth one is to access to the new talent and the resources, right? So when you move from your home country to the host country, and there you may find a labor which is comparatively at a cheaper rate. So this is why the lot of foreign companies, the developed nations, are moving to India, because they are finding the labor in India are available just at 1/5 rate. Like if you are paying $100 in your own country, then you just have to pay to Indian dollar only $20, right? So only $20 you can get the same the quality skill set of a worker in India as compared to your own home country. So this will also give you the possibility to really reduce your costs of production by getting a same quality of a manpower or the same skill set of a manpower at 1/5 rate as compared to your own home country. Further, you may have access to multiple variety of the resources which you may not be having in your own country. Like India is having a varied climatical condition, and because of varied climatical condition there is a huge assortment of the natural resources. So if anybody coming to India will be getting an exposure to the variety of climatical conditions and the variety of the resources, all these resources they are getting at comparatively cheaper rate because they are earning in dollar and spending in Indian rupees. So that's how they get the leverage of really getting advantage of being into India. They are getting the good quality resources, and that too at a very cheaper rate as compared to their own country. And that's the reason why most of the developed nation countries are very much interested towards the emerging economy like India. Now let's try to understand what are the different international entry strategies. Like there are multiple international entry strategies. Let us try to understand in a very simplified and the classified manner that we are going to classify the entry strategies under three important headings. One is your exporting, second is your FDI, and the third one is your FPI. So if anyone want to enter into an international market, for doing the business, one of the easiest way without having a much investment is the exporting, right? This is one of the easiest way of starting your business in the foreign market. If you really don't want to take the risk of entering into a foreign market, and you really you are not 100% sure that whether your product will be liked by the customer or not, and you are little in a dilemma because you don't have a good support of maybe the clientage, or you don't have a good support of a fund, then in that case you can give a hit and try mechanism. That is what I told you in the earlier time also, that when you are not 100% sure, there are a lot of prediction is there, unpredictability is there, you are having a dilemma state, then always go for a stability strategy. And under the stability strategy I mentioned that pause and proceed with caution or hit and trial mechanism. So exporting could give you a flavor that what kind of market it is. So initially for few years you can enter into an international market via exporting, because here you don't have to have your manufacturing setup in the foreign market. You continue to do the manufacturing in your own home country, and you just try to find the clients in the foreign market, and you just export your product, not the entire manufacturing setup. You are just exporting the product from your home country to the different host country. And if they start liking it, you start realizing that there is a hike in the demand of your product in that country, then over the period of time you can think of entering into that host country by having your own exclusive manufacturing setup over there. But initially you can start with the exporting. So exporting could also be of two types, with one is direct exporting and the second one is indirect exporting. Direct exporting, when you are the manufacturer and you yourself try to find the clientage in the foreign country. You may be visiting to the different foreign countries, maybe Latin America, maybe the European different countries, or the Africa. You're visiting over there and you develop the basic clientage from there, and then ask those clients that I will be ready by this consignment in these many months. You get the consignment, you get the approval from them, and you come back to India and start doing the production for them. And once the production is ready, you ship the consignment to that particular client. So this is the direct exporting. You develop your own clientage, you come back to India and then do the production as per their things and their requirements, and then you sold it off the products to them. And this is what Bajaj Auto is selling motorcycle in Latin America. Amul is exporting the dairy products to the US market. They are doing manufacturing here, right? And only exporting the products to the foreign market. Another way is indirect exporting. Indirect exporting, that means you are the producer, but you are not in direct contact with the foreign client. There is somebody else who will be playing the role. Like export management companies are there, like agents are there in between. So you as a farmer, suppose you are a farmer, you are the producer of a certain potatoes or the certain vegetables in India, or the spices in India. A lot of spices are getting exported to foreign country. So if you are the producer of spices in India, you are the farmer, but you are not exactly in contact with the foreign client, with the person who is actually going to buy, then it is going to be known as the indirect exporting. Here the agents, export management companies are going to come in contact with the main client who is sitting in the foreign market. So like Fab India using intermediaries, Indian MSME using Amazon global selling platform in order to sell their product. So these are the agents who are really helping you to sell your product in the foreign market, but you don't know who is the actual buyer of your product in the indirect exporting. But in case of a direct exporting, you know who is your exact client and what are the requirements and tastes and preferences are there. You have a fair idea about it. But in case of indirect exporting, you are not in direct contact with the foreign client. Now next is your foreign direct investment. So foreign direct investment can broadly be classified into two important lines. One is a greenfield investment or brownfield investment. There is one more thing, that is greenfield development. Now what is greenfield development? If any of the foreigner is investing in the countryside, maybe the special economic zone area, export processing zone area, or free trade zone area, or economic units, then in that case, that kind of a FDI will termed as a greenfield development, because foreigners are helping the government to develop the countryside or the rural area. So this is what comes under the greenfield development. Now greenfield investment is not necessarily that you will be investing only in the green side or maybe the countryside. You may be investing in urban areas of a country, like in a Gurgaon, like in Noida is coming under the special economic zone area. So if any investor, if any foreign investor and even the Indian investor is investing in Noida, that's how they are supporting the government to develop the countryside. And government give lot of subsidies and the rebate to those people who try to help the government by investing in a special economic zone area or export processing zone area. So FDI could be of greenfield investment as well as for greenfield development. Greenfield development when you are specifically investing in special economic zone area, export processing zone area, free trade units or economic units. But if you are not investing in such area and you are investing in urban area, then it will be termed as a greenfield investment. Like Apple has invested into a Karnataka factory. The Ola electric EV battery plants are also there. So people are coming up with some battery plants in India or the different parts of the country, they are opening their own setup, the complete manufacturing setup. Like Samsung India is a complete setup over here, the subsidiary is here. When you are having a full-fledged subsidiary and you're trying to start your business from the scratch or the zero, then it will be termed as a greenfield investment or greenfield development. The only difference between the two, that greenfield development, you are investing in the rural areas of a country which are coming under the special economic zone area, and the greenfield investment may be in the tier 1 cities, maybe the metro cities, right? So if you are starting your business from zero, then it will be termed as a greenfield investment or development. So Apple complete unit, like BMW has their own manufacturing setup in the Chennai. So this is all going to come under the greenfield investment. Next is a brownfield investment. When you are not starting your business from scratch, you are trying to buy the existing plant. You get into some merger, acquisition, joint venture, strategic alliance, right? So by getting into some contract with the foreign country, with the foreign company, and then you try to start your business, then it will be termed as a brownfield investment. Like in case of a merger, let us try to understand the meaning of the merger. In the case of merger, you first have to dilute your individual identity, right? First you have to dissolve your individual identity, and then two companies come together and start working. Like for example, GlaxoSmithKline, these were the 3 different companies, they merged together and start working together. Like Procter & Gamble, the 2 different companies, they individually get dissolved, and then they created their new identity, Procter & Gamble. Now you will never see the product of Procter alone, you will never see the product of Gamble alone. Now you will only see the products of Procter & Gamble. So this is the true example of the merger. Recently we have seen HDFC Limited is merged with the HDFC Bank. So it is now they are going to leverage the benefits of each other, and now they have merged their identity and have formed a new identity which is known as the HDFC Bank. Right, so this is the pure merger example. And similarly, the old example like GlaxoSmithKline, Procter & Gamble, these are also the examples of a pure merger where they have first dissolved their identity and formed the new identity. Next could be the acquisition. Like in case when there is a company and a B company, like I'll just give you an example. In case of an acquisition, what is going to happen? A company is there and the B company is there, and they are deciding to work together, and A company took over the B company, and existence of a B company is dissolved, and the existence of only A company is surviving. Then this will be termed as a acquisition. Like for example, Tata Chorus, like Microsoft initially acquired Nokia, later they sold it back to HMD company, but when they acquired Nokia, it get merged with the Microsoft. The existence of Nokia mobile phone got dissolved. Later Microsoft sold it back to HMD, the ex-employees of the Nokia. Right. Similarly, the BlackBerry phone was acquired by the foreign company, Financial Fairfax. Right. Similarly, Tata acquired the Land Rover Jaguar. Right. So these are the examples of a pure acquisition. Like Vodafone acquired the Hutch. Right, when they were entering into India, they acquired Hutch. That's how they enter into the Indian market. So the existence of one company and the second company get dissolved. Like here in case of Flipkart and Myntra, Flipkart acquired Myntra, so existence of Myntra is dissolved. Right now Myntra, all these sales of the Myntra is getting merged, or the finance is getting merged with the Flipkart. Right, so like Facebook acquired WhatsApp and Instagram, so now these are the units of the Facebook. So existence of one company is going to be there, and the rest of the company who have been acquired will get dissolved. So this is what the acquisition. Like Reliance acquiring the Metro Cash and Carry India. This is another very good and recent example of the pure acquisition. Now let's move to the next point, that is the joint venture. What is a joint venture? When the identity of both the parties survives. It is not going to happen like the identity of any of the parties going to get dissolved. It is not going to be the case here. like in case of merger, we have seen there are two companies first dissolve their identity and they form the new identity. But in case of a joint venture, the identity of both the companies are going to get survive, right? A is going to get survive, B will also be surviving, and they will be creating some other new identity, like A company and B company. So A and B company want to create a different new identity. The individual identity is also alive, and this third new identity they have created, like in case of Maruti and Suzuki, individual identity of Maruti is alive, individual identity of Suzuki is alive, and they are both working together. Hero Honda was a very ideal example of a joint venture earlier days. Now this example is no more in existence because there was a breach in contract between the two. So Hero used to manufacture the cycles, Honda used to manufacture the car. They come together and start manufacturing the motorbikes, and that's an ideal example of a joint venture. Here you can see that Maruti Suzuki is a good example of a joint venture. Tata and Renesas is getting into the joint venture. Renesas is a Japanese company, and they are trying to get into the manufacture. They are going to get into some strategic alliance and the joint venture with that company in order to help Tata Motors to in designing, in manufacturing, and the different semiconductor product. Another example of a brownfield investment is licensing and franchising. Now, what is the difference first between the two, licensing and franchising? Most of the students get confused. Licensing, in case of a licensor, suppose I am a licensor, I am holding a patent and a copyright, and you are my licensee. You are seeking that patent or copyright from me. So I will give you again certain money. I'll give you this license and you become my licensee, and you have to pay certain amount of money to me. And how you will be making use of that license, I have no control over it. I am a licensor because I am the one who is having a copyright or the patent. You want that copyright and patent from me, and I want to monetize my intellectual property. So I am ready to give that license to you, but you have to pay certain amount of money. The moment you pay certain amount of money, now I have no control upon you how you're going to make use of that license. On the contrary side, in the case of franchisee, I'm a franchisor and you are a franchisee, like McDonald's, but I will have a full control over how you're working. I may give you the franchisee, I will be taking the royalty from you, and you can copy my business model, you can copy how I'm doing marketing, you may use my branding techniques and everything, but I will have a full control over the functionality of the franchisee. If anyone is not following the terms and conditions, I may debar the person from the franchisee. That means in case of a franchising, the control is going to last in the hand of the person franchisor, like McDonald's, like KFC. These people are having a control. They are the founder, they are the one who is giving franchisee to different people across the globe. Like in India also, you are seeing the different outlets are there, and they are copying the entire business model. They are not just taking the understanding of the copyright or the patent, they are copying the entire business model, they are copying the branding style, they are copying the marketing style, but they have a liberty to curtail down and fine-tune the menu as per the taste and preference of the different country. Like in case of India and Brazil and China, these are the little sensitive, cultural sensitive countries, so they have given a little freedom to the franchisees of these countries that you can curtail down the menu as per the taste and preference of the customer. But the model, but the branding, marketing, what should be the color, ambience of the place where you will be opening the outlet, is everything controlled and governed by the franchisor. In licensing, such kind of control is not there. The next is your contract manufacturing. Like contract manufacturing, when you are trying to find that why I will be wasting my time in just doing the manual job or the monotonous thing, let me ask somebody else to do this monotonous job. I will focus more on R&D. I will focus more on coming up with new designs, new manufacturing style and the setup. I will try to explore more of the market. I will try to develop how I can convince my customer more, or how I will try to find out what are my requirement of customer. So I will be focusing more on that rather than the monotonous job of the production. So I will give this job to somebody else to do the production for me. The designing part is going to be controlled by one company, and the production part is controlled by somebody else on the behalf of the main company. then it will be termed as a contract manufacturing. Like Apple organization, Apple company incorporation is focusing on more of design part, and the production is taken care by Foxconn company. But because of certain clashes between the two, they are really reworking on it, and Foxconn is also ready to shift their manufacturing setup from China to different other part. Next is Aditya Birla Group producing the global brand, and they are trying to develop the global brand based on that only, the contract manufacturing. Somebody else is doing the production on your behalf, right? A lot of shoe manufacturing units in a country, what we are observing, they are not having their own brand, but they are producing the shoes under the labeling or under the brand of some other well-recognized companies like Woodland, like Red Chief and other. This is all about the FDI. This is all about the brownfield investment, where you try to find the third party to play the role in between. You are not indirect. You are somewhere, you are trying to find out the best possible solution in the host country, and you don't want to really start from the scratch. You want a complete setup over there, established setup over there, or maybe some renowned company of that country, and then from there onwards you want to carry forward your business in the foreign country, because this is how you try to minimize the risk of investment in the foreign country. The moment you try to start the business from the very scratch, the risk is high. Only big companies can afford to do that. And when companies are not so much sure about their investment, and they really don't want to unnecessarily invest to start from the very scratch, they go for the brownfield investment, acquisition and partnership. Now, next is the foreign portfolio investment, another way through which money can flow to a country, or another way through which you can invest in a foreign country. But such kind of investment is very volatile. It is also known as a hot money, because you may be investing, and maybe you just invested in a country at sharp 10 o'clock in the morning, and before the market get closed at 3:15, you just took off all the money from the market. So that is the reason why it is termed as a very hot money, volatile money. The investment is not safe and secure, because at any point of time the foreign investors can start withdrawing the money from a particular country if they are anticipating or speculating that the economy of a country will go down. And this is what we have seen in a lot of time. The market all of a sudden boost, and all of a sudden market start going down. So because people are speculating, and the stock market is a news market predominantly. So stock and bond investment, like foreign pension fund investing in the Indian market, like Norway government are investing in the Indian market. FPIs, a lot of foreign investments are made for Zomato and the Paytm. A lot of foreign investors are putting a huge amount of money in Zomato company, and as a result, you can see in just a span of few years, the Zomato price has gone up to 200 times. It was just 60 rupees, somewhere 60 or 50 rupees. It has gone up to somewhere 280 around. And this is all happening because a lot of foreigner people have a trust on this organization, and they are seeing this is the future company. And same is the case with the Paytm. The people are investing a lot of money, but still the condition of a Paytm is not so good, and people are speculating in certain downfall in it, and they started withdrawing the money. Now after understanding the different style of the entry strategies in the international market, let us try to see what could be the possible different stages of international market development, like the domestic stage. Initially, you will be starting your business in your own country, and once you started flourishing in your home country, you start seeking that, let me expand my business to the foreign market. There are a lot of companies earlier were predominantly the domestic companies, like Haldiram was predominantly a domestic company before they start exporting to the foreign country. Lijjat Papad is predominantly a home country business or a domestic company business. Then they later started exporting to various other countries. Like right now we can see the Patanjali is a domestic, Ayurvedic products are the domestic company, right? We can see the Muthoot Finance is a domestic company. So in case of a Haldiram, we have seen a shift, right, from home country or the domestic company to the foreign country by getting into the international stage, right? They started exporting. They might not be having their own manufacturing setup in the foreign country, but they have started exporting the products to the foreign market via international. There is a transition. So people can move from one stage to the next stage, like from infancy stage to the next adolescent stage. This is just like that. So when you start your business, you are starting your business in your own home country, and home country is known as the domestic stage. Like Patanjali is still a domestic company, Muthoot Finance is still a domestic company. most of the cases it is observed the Parle-G is also a domestic company, like Mother Dairy is also a domestic company, but in case of Amul we are seeing the export is taking place. So the moment you start exporting your product, you are no more a domestic on the domestic stage, you move to the international stage. International stage is a stage where companies are having their manufacturing setup in their own home country, but they are exporting their product, they are selling their product to even the foreign client, right? So you are selling your product in the finished product in the foreign market, then you will be termed as an exporter. It could be via direct channel or a indirect channel. Then the next comes is a multinational stage where you want to really have a setup in the foreign market, you have tasted in the foreign market, you have understood via exporting that lot of demand of your product is there, then why not to have my own manufacturing setup over there in the foreign market, because people are demanding a lot about of your product in the foreign market. So you can look for establishing your own manufacturing setup over there in the foreign market. But the moment you get into the multinational stage, this is the time where you are trying to curtail down your product or customize your product as per the taste and preferences of the foreign client. Say for example, if any foreigner is like Coca-Cola product or the PepsiCo products in India, they are tailored to the taste and preferences of the Indian customer. The taste of Coca-Cola in India is more sweet as compared to the foreign country, because they have added additional sugar syrup to match with the taste buds of the Indian customer, because Indian people like more of sweet as compared to the foreigners. Earlier when the chocolate entered, Cadbury chocolate entered to our India market, they added additional sugar to it. They didn't come up with the real dark chocolate. Later on, once they developed the taste and flavor of Indian market, they have started coming up with the dark chocolate, but still the sweet chocolate are there in the market. This is the real taste of the Indian people. So when you are customizing your product as per the taste and preferences of the foreign client, then you will be termed as a multinational company, and you are trying to manufacture the product as per the tailored taste and preferences. So you try to adjust your production based on the customer requirement. This is what comes under the multinational stage. That's why it is mentioned here, regional adaptation and the foreign subsidies. Next is your global stage. Global stage is an integrated and the standardized global production. So, or the operation. Here you don't try to curtail down, you don't try to customize your product from one threshold to another threshold, right? From one country to another country. You try to keep your product standardized. You don't want to change your product at all. Why? Because you have gone through a deep analysis or an understanding of the global market via your research and development, and you come up with the product which is going to be universally acceptable. And once the product which you have developed, which is going to be universally acceptable, and you have invested a hell lot of money in it to come up with that kind of a product, you don't want to curtail down, because if you try to customize the product for each and every customer or for each and every country rather, then you will be adding additional cost to it, right? Customization will call for the cost. So in order to overcome this problem of unnecessary cost to involve in it, they try to invest one go in R&D and try to come up with the product which is going to be universally acceptable. Say for example, software companies, the chemical companies, pharmaceutical companies, all going to come under the global stage, because they are coming up with the product which is uniform, which is universally acceptable. Say for example, if somebody in India is having a fever, will take a paracetamol. The person who is in foreign, if that person is also having a fever, will also take a paracetamol. So that's a common salt and that's a common medicine which will be available across the globe, right? If somebody is having a cardiovascular diseases, then they will be also taking the same medicine, the same surgery process will go through. So that's a common, the medical sciences, the pharmaceutical product, the chemicals, software industry, hardware industry are more or less coming under the global stage. So they come up with the product which is universally acceptable across the globe. You don't have to curtail down or fine tune your product as per taste and preference of the foreign country. Then next comes the transnational stage. Transnational stage is a stage where the company is having presence in almost every next country. Say for example, Nestle. Nestle is having presence in 192 countries. Almost every next country they are having a presence except the North Korea, Cuba, Andorra. These are the three or four more countries are there where the Nestle is not having a presence, but otherwise they are having presence in almost every next country. Out of 195 countries, they are having presence in almost 192 countries, and they are the one who are curtailing down their product as per the regional taste and preferences. Such kind of a company will be termed as a transnational stage company, where you have gone deeper and deeper into the taste and preferences of the customer of the different specific region. Like in case of India also, they are not considering India as one. They are finding India as four different nations. Like Northern India is having different taste and preferences, South India is having different taste and preferences, East India is having different taste and preferences, Western Indians having different taste and preferences. So when you go to South India, the kind of Nestle Maggi masala you will be finding is having more of the flavor of the coconut in it, and when you go to the northern side, the taste of Maggi masala is very spicy, very hot as compared to the South Indian. Same is the case in the eastern side and the western side. You will observe the people are having a different taste buds and the different taste preferences. You go to Gujarat, the Maggi masala is having little sugar in it because they prefer sugar in even in their lentils and other thing. So they have customized their product as per the region. They have customized the product as per the local community requirement and taste and preferences, and that's how they become a transnational stage, seamless business integration across the business border. And this requires lot of efforts, this requires lot of decentralization and trust on the parties, which trust on the global parties which you have created across the globe. And it is not going to be very easy. Now let's look at so dear learners, with the understanding of the stage of international development, now let us quickly look at how we are going to make use of the different stages of international development via Bartlett-Ghosal model. In this Bartlett-Ghosal model, what this author tried to emphasize on that there are two pressures under which international company functions. First one is the local responsiveness pressure, and second is the cost reduction pressure. Now let us try to see how these two pressures are going to play the role in the matrix. When local responsiveness pressure is low and cost reduction pressure is low, companies should opt for the international strategy. That means there is no pressure upon a company to customize the product as per the taste and preferences of the company. Secondly, there is also no pressure of the cost reduction. That means customers are ready to pay high even for getting the original product. So that means the company who are manufacturer of a product of some quality, of some premium product, or the product which is the original product of a particular country, say for example, the spices of the India are liked in the same form. So people would tend to buy the spices from India in their original form, and they do not want any sort of customization of those spices which are coming from India. You take an example of the Banarsi fabric of India. They are not looking for any customization in the Banarsi saris of India. They are looking for buying exactly the same fabric which is available in India from Banaras, and they are ready to pay lakhs for that in order to buy the original. Even the handloom products, the khadi products of India are coming under the international strategy, where the company owner or the exporter don't have to customize the product as per the taste and preferences. They can exactly offer the same product to the foreign client because they are looking for the originality. You can take the example of the betel leaves of India also. They have lot of advantage across the globe. People are looking for such betel leaves, and they have medicinal values also. So they are looking for the original product, and when people in the foreign country are looking for the original product, they are ready to pay high for that, and even they don't want any sort of customization. So this what comes under the international strategy. When local responsiveness pressure is low and the cost reduction pressure is high, the kind of strategy which company is going to opt is the global strategy. That means here the company have a local responsiveness pressure. Answer is no. They don't have to customize again the product from one threshold to another. That means from one country to another country. They don't have to customize, but there is a pressure of a cost reduction. The cost of the product should be affordable, because in most of the cases what has been observed, the global companies, they put lot of money in R&D to find out a product which is going to be universally acceptable, and in this process of finding out the product which is universally acceptable, They put lot of money, they pour a lot of money in terms of conducting the survey, finding the customer trends or the market trends. They are pouring lot of money. As a result, the ultimate product which they will be producing based on that research is going to be little costlier. So there is a pressure to reduce the cost of the product, but because the people are not going to afford such high costly product. So global companies are like pharmaceutical companies, like software companies, the hardware companies. Their product are universally acceptable across the globe. You just need to find out which product, which is the unique product which is going to be universally acceptable across the globe. So you don't have to customize from one company, one country to another country. So this is what the global strategy is. On the other side, when we will move towards the right side of this model, where we see the local responsiveness pressure is getting high and the cost reduction pressure is low, where you have to follow the multi-domestic strategy. That means you have to work on customization of your product, because local responsiveness pressure from low is moving towards the high level. So the moment you move from the low to a higher side, you have to customize your product as per the taste and preferences of the customer. Here customization will take place. On this side there will be no customization. So this is the area of customization. You have to customize the product, even this side and this side also, and here there is no customization. Why? Because there is no local responsiveness pressure, because there is a low local responsiveness pressure in both of these areas. Here the customization is not required at all. You don't have to customize. You really have to customize your product in these areas, but there is no need of customization on these two areas. So when you are customizing your product, you have to see the taste and preferences of your customer. You have to see what is the market trend, and based on that you will be producing a product. And the cost reduction pressure is low in this case of the market multi-domestic strategy. That means customers are ready to pay high, but they want the product of their taste and preferences. Say for example, when McDonald's enter into a country like India, they come up with the beef burger. The people straight away boycotted because it was not as per the taste and preferences of the Indian customer. Indian people worship cow, and you are offering on a platter the beef to the Indian customer, and this is what was not at all acceptable to the Indian customer, and they boycotted the product. As a result, the McDonald's people apologized for it, and they customized the menu keeping in mind the Indian culture, tradition, rituals and the practices in mind. They come up with the aloo tikki burger, and people are ready to pay. It's not like that they are offering at a very reasonable rate, maybe 5 rupees or 2 rupees or 10 rupees. It's not like that. They are charging 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 500 rupees for the burger. People are ready to pay for it, but they want the product of their taste. They are focusing on what? The taste. They want the product of their taste. If you as a company can offer a product as per the taste and preferences of the Indian customer, people are ready to pay higher for this. So that means the cost reduction pressure is low here, but the local responsiveness pressure is very high over here. That means you have to customize the product, and they are ready to pay for the customization. On the other side, there is a transnational strategy where further you have to customize your product, but the cost reduction pressure is also high. That means they are not ready to pay you much for the product that you will be offering to them. That means you have to keep the price of the product low, and at the same point of time, here under the transnational strategy, you have to provide the product as per taste and preferences. So for example, Nestle product. Nestle is having around 2,000 brands across the globe, and they are trying to offer the product at a very reasonable rate, and it is going to create a tough time for the other people to offer to a rate which these Nestle brands are offering in the market. So the prices are also very low. Prices are low, and product is as per the taste and preferences. Product is as per the taste and preferences of the customer. So transnational strategy is focusing on low price but my taste. In case of multi-domestic, I am ready to pay high, but the product should be of my taste. Under the international strategy, I want the original product. What uniqueness your country is offering, I'm looking to experience that uniqueness of your country. So they are ready to really look for the original product. They don't want any sort of customization in terms of Indian spices, in terms of the Indian grains, in terms of the Indian clothing, in terms of Indian and other Ayurvedic medicines. They don't want any sort of customization in it. They're looking for exactly the same product in the same form, and they are ready to pay high for that. Another one is a global strategy where the customer are looking for price. They want the product which is going to be universally acceptable, and at the same point of time they want the product to be within the range of the price. They don't want the product to be heavy on their pocket. So this is how the Bartlett-Ghoshal model try to explain to the different companies that in which particular quadrant your company is lying, and based on that you can frame your strategy in order to cater the market and get the maximum responses from your customer. Now let's quickly look at the international coordination. International coordination is focusing on the people. They are focusing on the process, structure, culture, and digital transformation. So if you want to enter into the international market, you have to see how you are going to develop your coordination, how you are going to develop a system where each and every party is contributing in the growth of the organization. You want to see how the different units, the different setups of your organization are gelling well with each other and helping and supporting in the integration of the ultimate headquarter vision mission of the organization. So for this you have to take certain calls. Like in case of the people, you need to see how you're going to manage the global talent, how you are going to hire the people from different parts of the world. Say for example, you are running an organization where you need to hire a people from different parts of the world, then it is going to come under the expatriate. That means you are going to hire the people from the parent company national. This is going to be possible in case of an ethnocentric organization. For this, I need to merge these two slides together, where you have to understand international orientation also. International orientation is going to be classified into 4 parts. One is the ethnocentric, second is polycentric, third is regiocentric, and geocentric. Ethnocentric are those countries who try to consider their own country as a supreme culture and try to project their culture upon the host country, and that is the reason why they look for expatriate hiring. Expatriate hiring, that means my parent company people, my home country people are going to be sent to the host country, and they will be developing the setup or the system in the host country, because they don't trust the host country employees, they don't trust the culture of that country. As a result, they are going to hire the people from the home country and ask them to go to the foreign country, that is the host country, and establish the unit over there. This is what ethnocentric, where home country orientation is very high. They are ethnic, they are considering the home country culture as supreme as compared to any other country culture, right? And nowadays this kind of approach is going to be very devastating for a particular organization, because every country is having their own culture and they respect their own culture, and if somebody else coming to their country and trying to project their culture upon the host country culture, so there may be some rejection or some sort of the boycott they may have to experience. So until and unless you are moving toward the extremely underdeveloped nation where the people are still not sure about what is to be accepted and what not to be accepted, there is a possibility. But otherwise, when it comes to a developing nation and developed nation, these people have already framed their mindset. There, if you are coming up with your strong orientation, then the company may face the failure. Other is the polycentrism. Under this polycentrism, the moment I left my country and moved to the host country, or the moment I try to expand my business organization from home country to the host country, both these units are going to be absolutely different, right? My host country and the home country, I may have a different setup because I'm going to hire people from the host country itself. So this kind of the staffing is known as a host country national style of staffing, which is going to be popular in case of polycentrism, when you are hiring the people from the host country only. And in case of ethnocentrism, you are hiring the people from the parent company, the employee from the home country working in the foreign subsidiaries or the foreign unit, right, to establish, because they don't trust the culture of that country. In the next condition where the polycentrism is there, employee from the host country manage the operation locally. So you are going to hire the people from that local place. Why? Because you are not very much sure about the culture of that host country. So in order to know more about that country, you are going to hire the people from that local population, and these people are going to give you the feedback about the taste and preferences of that host country. As a result, you can curtail down your product as per taste and preferences. This is how the Coca-Cola company did, this is how the PepsiCo did, this is how the Cadbury company did, this is how Samsung did, this is how Apple is doing, this is how BMW is doing. So they are coming up with few set of experts from the home country, but by and large the people are going to be hired from the local population. This is what the host country national is. Right, now let's move back to the regiocentrism. Regiocentrism is quite an extension of the polycentrism. Here in polycentrism, you try to adopt one national, one approach, right? If you move to India, in India there's going to be one way of dealing, right? If you move to China, there's going to be one way of dealing with the entire China. If you move to Brazil, there will be one way of dealing with the entire Brazil. But in case of a regiocentrism, you are going to be region specific. Say for example, in India, the moment you enter to India, you realize that India is so different across the borders, across the different states. There is a difference in the language, there is a difference in the culture and the preferences, the taste buds are getting changed. So when you move on to North India, you find some different sort of the people. When you move to the southern part of India, you realize they have different set of taste buds, and the moment you move to the eastern side, again the people have different taste buds, and the moment you move to the western side, the different taste buds. So you try to cater all those difference in the India, and you become regiocentrist. That means you are going to bifurcate India into 4 different zones in order to serve and customize your product as per the uniqueness coming from the different zones of the India. Or you can classify on the basis of the continent also, like Asia continent, or European continent, or American continent, or maybe the African continent, or Australian continent. So you can classify on the basis of the region, entire bigger broader continent, or you can go down closer to the states or the different regions, or the regions of a particular country. So this is a further extension of the polycentrism, where you try to be more closer to your customer taste and preferences. You want to give best product as exactly as per the taste and preferences of them. So again, the host country national, and more specifically from that particular region, for which reason you are trying to produce the product. Say for example, if you are producing a product for the South Indian people, then you are going to hire the people from the South India only. If you are producing a product for the North Indian, then you are going to hire the people from the North India only. The next is your geocentrism. Geocentrism is coming from the global market approach, and in the global market approach, your style of staffing is going to be third country national style of staffing. That means you are going to hire the people from across the globe. Why? Because the geocentric companies are going to be a global companies, right? This is what we had discussed here under the Bartlett-Ghoushal model also. Global strategies, under the global strategies are the global companies, and these global companies are going to hire the people from third country national. Why there is a need to hire the people from third country national? That means the people from different parts of the world. Why? Because they are focusing on finding out a universal problem, and on the basis of identification of a universal problem of the people across the globe, they try to provide the solution to it. They are going to work on the R&D in order to provide the exact solution to a problem which is universally applicable. So for this, I want a feedback from different parts of the world. So I will look for the people to work in my organization from different parts of the zone, so that I will be getting a required feedback. That's what comes under the third country national style of the staffing. Employee from third country working in a subsidiary. Say for example, your headquarters is in Geneva, and you have hired the people from Pakistan, you had hired the people from Sri Lanka, you hired the people from India, you hired people from Melbourne, you hired the people from Japan, you hired the people from China, you hired the people from maybe Uganda, and at different other places you are hiring the people in order to get the feedback from different part of the people working in your organization. So this is what EPRG framework, and that's how the different style of staffing are taking place, and this is what going to get connected with the international coordination, and that's how they try to coordinate, that's how they try to connect all the loops. So based on that, you will be making a global talent management. So whether to go for standardization or customization, again is going to let you know what kind of EPRG model you are following. If it is suppose your production is going to be of geocentric nature, then you are going to be standardized. If it is polycentric, then it is going to be customized, and it standardized in case of ethnocentric also, right? If you are ethnocentric, then you can also centralize your work. You can standardize your style of production. In case of a structure, whether it is to be standardized or decentralized, when your unit is comparatively small and you don't want this to give the responsibility, or maybe you don't trust the people who will be sitting at the host country will able to really work exactly the way you want to. Predominantly in case of ethnocentric approach, the company try to keep the things centralized. In case of a polycentric, they have to go for decentralized approach, right? The culture, the cross-cultural management is utmost important, because in case of geocentric, when you are hiring the people from different parts of the world, you have to give respect to different culture. But in case of ethnocentric, it is not important, because you are going to hire your own people, you are going to ask your people to move from your home country to the host country. So in case of ethnocentric approach, you don't need to work on the cross-cultural management. But in case of a geocentric, where you are hiring the people from different parts of the world, then in that case it becomes much most important for you to have an understanding that how you should give respect in terms of the basic rituals and the traditions of that country. Then next is a digital transformation in coordination. You can take an example of a Google, Zoom, Meet, right? They are trying to develop a platform, a real-time meeting can take place across the different countries, where suppose you are having a headquarter in Melbourne, and from Melbourne you are conducting a meeting, the person is sitting in India, the person sitting in maybe China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, these different places, or somewhere in California, they are meeting at one single time. So real-time meeting is getting possible because of this digital transformation and in coordination. Zoom has set the example, Google Meet has set the example for this. Now, role of AI and big data in managing the global operation, as you can say, Amazon is taking the best out of it. AI is helping Amazon to check the market trend. AI is helping the Amazon to find out that how the different market will be taking a shape, what are the market trends, right, what the competitors are doing, what kind of the customer satisfaction level is, and big data is helping them to analyze the huge chunk of information, and which can help them to get the conclusion that what should be the correct strategy for the organization. So a lot of organizations like Google and other organizations are making use of AI and big data in order to take the correct strategic course of decision for their organization, and that's how they are trying to coordinate their business across the globe. Now, there are certain challenges in international employment like cultural difference, legal compliance, and work ethics and diversity. For this, you should hire a great CHRO in your organization who will be taking care of the cultural differences and the work ethics and diversity. In case of the legal compliances, you should hire a person from for the legal advisors. The legal advisors should be hired, and you should be well updated and acquainted with the legal information. So, cultural differences can easily be overcome if you are open towards the other country culture, instead of just thinking that your own country culture is the supreme. You should be open, you should respect each and every other country culture. And work ethics and diversity become so crucial that every organization should practice this, and for this you should have CHR in your organization. There are certain measuring performance in the global strategy. One is the key performance indicator. These are the checklist for the key performance indicator. Like if your market share is increasing, that means everything is happening in the right direction. You are meeting out your vision mission. If revenue is growing, again it's a positive indication, and customer satisfaction is also increasing. That means your KPI is met. So you have to check the data coming from the market, whether you have increased your market share. Suppose your market share was earlier 1.5%, it has gone up to maybe 1.9%. So this is the hike in the market share, and your revenue started increasing, maybe somewhere 500 CR to maybe 520 CR. That means again you are increasing in the percentage of earnings. Customer satisfaction and the loyalty of the customer is also increasing. So that's going to help you to get an idea that whether you are growing in this market, or you are still stagnant in this market, or you are declining. So there are furthermore checklists from the side of the balance scorecard, where you will try to assess your internal organization in terms of seeing whether you have sufficient funds with you, how you are making use of the sufficient fund, what is your ROI, what is the payback period, IRR. So you try to check your financial metrics, you try to check your customer metrics in terms of getting whether they are loyal, frequency of purchase, retention of the customer. All these things will give you the idea about the customer metrics, internal business process, that how you are producing a product. Is it harming the environment? Is it very costly for our production process is very costly, or the production process is comparatively cheaper, or you have to find out that how it is impacting the environment. So this is all going to come under the internal business process. And then comes your learning and the growth, that are you constantly striving hard to find out the best way of doing the production? Are you still striving hard to find out how I can further convince my customer the most, right? The next another matrix is like profitability risk analysis, in order to find out that how you are going to mitigate the risk. So there should be some scenario planning. Another very important and buzzing word is ESG, that is environment, social governance. Every next country is looking for the ethical practices should come out from each and every organization, which not only supports the nearby society but also support the larger community as a whole. So every organization is looking for corporate governance from each and every company. So what are the key takeaways from today's lecture? That in today's lecture we'll try to understand the meaning of the global strategy. Here we also understood that there is an effective international coordination ensure the smooth operation. So in order to have a smooth operation across the different parts of the world, you need to have a strong international coordination, right? And further, the different stages of international development was discussed. Bartlett-Ghoushal model was discussed, which actually helped the company to understand what are two essential pressures which is going to be very toughest thing to handle, like local responsiveness pressure and the cost reduction pressure. HR strategies play the crucial role in managing the global workforce because of the cultural differences and the diversity. So HR play a crucial role in hiring a right person for handling the huge manpower is a big thing. And the performance management, there are certain KPIs, there are certain balanced scorecard which every organization should keep themselves and keep on evaluating whether they are achieving the targets or not. So dear learners, with this I take a day off and recommend you to refer this book for your further readings. Thank you for today.